The silent weakness. Most Americans don't see coming right now. If you're over 60, there's a quiet threat already moving through your body. You don't feel it happening. There's no alarm, no warning light. But it's there, slowly eating away at your strength, your balance, and your independence. And here's the terrifying part. Almost everyone thinks they're doing the right thing. They eat eggs, they try to get protein, they follow the advice they've heard for decades. Yet day after day, their muscles keep shrinking. Not dramatically, not overnight, quietly. Until one morning, you struggle to stand from your chair. Until carrying groceries feels heavier than it should. Until stairs become negotiations instead of steps. This isn't just aging. This is muscle loss. And once it starts accelerating, life gets expensive fast. Walkers, medications, physical therapy, assisted living. Suddenly your world becomes smaller, and your freedom depends on appointments and insurance approvals. Studies now show that after 60, your body stops responding to protein the same way it used to. Scientists call it anabolic resistance. Translation? The foods that once built muscle now barely move the needle. That's why relying on eggs alone can quietly fail you. Eggs aren't evil, but for seniors, they're often inefficient, which is why researchers analyze thousands of foods to see which ones actually stimulate muscle rebuilding in older adults. Only 10 stood out. Eggs didn't make the cut. And today, I'm walking you through those foods, starting with the simplest one that works while you sleep. Because muscle doesn't disappear suddenly. It fades. And so does independence, unless you interrupt the process. The nighttime food that rebuilds muscle while you rest. Let's start with something already sitting in millions of American refrigerators. Cottage cheese. It doesn't look impressive. It doesn't get flashy headlines. But it contains something older muscles desperately need. Slow digesting casein protein. Here's what most people don't realize. Your muscles don't rebuild when you're walking around Costco or mowing the lawn. They rebuild at night, while you're asleep. That's when your body switches into repair mode. But most seniors stop feeding their muscles hours before bedtime. So the body runs out of raw material halfway through the night. Cottage cheese changes that. Casein releases amino acids slowly over several hours, feeding muscle tissue continuously while you sleep. Instead of a short protein spike like eggs provide, this gives your body a steady supply all night long. Helen, 72 from Arizona, learned this the hard way. She woke up every morning with stiff, aching legs. Her doctor offered pain meds. She didn't want them. She tried something simpler. Half a cup of cottage cheese before bed. 2 weeks later, she noticed her mornings felt different. Less stiffness, more energy. No miracle, just progress. That's how strength returns after 60. Quietly. Cottage cheese also brings calcium and phosphorus for bones, and probiotics that help aging digestion absorb nutrients better. It's cheap. No cooking, no prep. And it works while you sleep. But what if you need protein that also reduces inflammation? The hidden enemy draining seniors every day? That's where the next food comes in. The surprising plant, protein that protects aging muscles. Tofu doesn't look powerful, but appearances lie. Tofu delivers complete protein, all essential amino acids, without the heavy fats that often slow digestion in older adults. More importantly, it contains natural compounds called isoflavones that gently support hormone balance. Why does that matter? Because declining hormones accelerate muscle loss after 60. Walter, 76, from Ohio, didn't believe in tofu. Meat and potatoes guy. Always had been. Then joint pain started limiting his garage projects. His daughter convinced him to swap fried chicken for baked tofu twice a week. 1 month later, his walks felt easier. His energy stopped crashing in the afternoon. Not because tofu is magic, because it reduced inflammation while feeding muscle. Unlike eggs, tofu doesn't spike cholesterol for sensitive seniors. It supports muscle without stressing the cardiovascular system. It's also rich in calcium and magnesium, minerals that prevent cramps and keep muscle contractions smooth. And it's versatile. Stir fries, soups, smoothies. But protein alone isn't enough. Your muscles also need steady fuel. That's where chickpeas come in. The cheap legume that restores energy and endurance. Chickpeas don't just build muscle, they power it. They deliver plant protein plus complex carbohydrates that provide long-lasting energy instead of sugar crashes. Evelyn, 70, from California, used to eat white bread lunches. Every afternoon at 2 p.m., she hit a wall. Exhaustion, shaky legs, brain fog. She replaced those lunches with chickpea salads 3 days a week. Within a month, the fatigue disappeared. Her evening walks felt stronger. Her hands steadied when carrying groceries. Chickpeas bring magnesium, zinc, and folate, nutrients that repair connective tissue and regulate muscle function. They also provide fiber, improving digestion so seniors absorb more nutrients from every meal. Eggs give protein. Chickpeas give protein plus endurance. They're shelf-stable, dirt cheap, easy to add to soups, hummus, or snacks. But there's another affordable food that attacks muscle loss from a completely different angle: inflammation. The small fish with big power. Canned sardines may not look heroic, but nutritionally, they're heavyweights. One serving delivers over 20 grams of complete protein plus omega-3 fatty acids that dramatically reduce inflammation. And inflammation is one of the biggest silent reasons seniors stay weak. Frank, 78, from Minnesota, added sardines twice a week after gardening started leaving his legs aching for days. Within a month, the soreness faded. His evening walks felt lighter. Sardines also provide vitamin D and calcium for bone strength, because muscle without strong bones is useless. Plus vitamin B12, which keeps nerve signals sharp. Without it, balance suffers and coordination fades. They're shelf-stable, ready to eat, cheaper per gram of protein than chicken or eggs, and they quietly rebuild strength from the inside. But muscles also need oxygen. That's where millet enters. The ancient grain that stabilizes blood sugar and strength. Millet doesn't look exciting, but it delivers slow-burning carbohydrates plus magnesium and iron, nutrients that improve blood flow and oxygen delivery to working muscles. Harold, 81, from Oregon, swapped his white toast for millet porridge. 3 weeks later, standing felt steadier. Stairs required less effort. His wife noticed he stopped grabbing furniture for balance. Millet prevents blood sugar crashes that drain seniors midday. It feeds muscles steadily and supports recovery. It's gluten-free, cheap, easy to cook. Eggs don't provide this kind of sustained energy, and neither do supplements. Real food does. But muscle isn't the only thing aging bodies lose. Connective tissue weakens too, which brings us to muscles. The shellfish that rebuilds connective tissue. Muscles deliver complete protein plus taurine, an amino acid shown to protect aging muscle fibers. Clara, 69, from South Carolina, avoided shellfish for years. Her granddaughter convinced her to try mussel stew once a week. A month later, Clara's grip strength improved. Her legs felt steadier on morning walks. Mussels also provide zinc and B12, supporting hormone production and nerve signaling. They're inexpensive frozen. Cook in minutes. They rebuild not just muscle, but the connective tissue holding your body together. And if that sounds powerful, wait until you hear about nori. The paper-thin seaweed with real muscle impact. Nori looks fragile, but it's packed with bioactive peptides that improve muscle function and reduce inflammation in older adults. Robert, 73, from Colorado, crumbled roasted nori into his soup. 3 weeks later, leg stiffness faded. Balance improved. Nori delivers iodine for thyroid health, taurine for flexibility, and antioxidants that slow muscle aging. It's cheap, shelf-stable, easy to snack on. But hydration matters too. That's where spirulina enters. The green powder that improves oxygen delivery. Spirulina comes from algae, but it delivers complete protein plus powerful antioxidants that improve oxygen flow to muscle tissue. Margaret, 75, from Florida, added 1 teaspoon to her morning smoothie. Within weeks, stairs felt easier. Daily walks hurt less. Spirulina stabilizes blood sugar and reduces fatigue. Eggs don't do that. But there's one food that outperforms them all. The tiny grain that shocked researchers: teff. Smallest grain on Earth. Biggest impact on senior muscle. Teff delivers complete protein plus lysine, critical for collagen repair, along with iron and calcium. Leonard, 82, from Wisconsin, replaced white rice with teff porridge 3 times a week. 1 month later, his balance improved. His legs felt lighter. Teff boosts hemoglobin, increasing oxygen delivery to muscles. It protects bones. It rebuilds connective tissue. And it's gluten-free. For seniors, teff doesn't just support muscle. It supports independence. The real message most people miss. Here's the truth beneath everything. Muscle loss is not inevitable. Weakness is not your destiny. What you eat daily either accelerates decline or quietly reverses it. You don't need expensive supplements. You don't need extreme diets. You need consistency. Small changes compound. And every day you delay, your body adapts to weakness. The final question that matters: one day, you'll wake up and realize your body is either working for you or working against you. That moment doesn't arrive suddenly. It's built slowly, by what you choose to eat, by whether you protect your strength, by whether you fight for independence now or surrender it later. Because your best years aren't behind you. They're waiting, but only if you decide to keep them. And here's the haunting truth. Your muscles are listening every single day.